Welcome back, I'm George, and in this video I'm going to show you every single camera setting you need to know for both the Samsung Galaxy S26 and S26 Ultra. The goal is to optimize your phone as much as possible so you can go from results that look like this to results that look like that. But anyways, that being said, and getting right into the video, the first thing we need to do is to access the camera settings. So let's tap on the camera app, then select the normal photo taking mode, and then tap on the four dots right here. Then we are going to tap right here on the camera settings so we can access every single camera setting on the phone. And of course, we are going to start right here at the top with intelligent features. Let's tap right here on scanning. This is essentially going to allow you to use the camera as a document scanner, text scanner, or QR scanner. So of course, turn all of these on. Then we have the option to turn on shot suggestions, which I recommend you do. It essentially is going to use AI to let you know what is the best photo composition, so your photos look balanced and high quality, essentially so you can get professional results even if you don't really know photography or videography. Then moving on, right here on Photo Enhancer, we are going to tap on Prioritize Quality. As you can see, there's two more options, which are going to be speedier when it comes to taking the pictures. But I found that quality is not that slow. You're still going to have, a very snappy experience. And of course, it is going to give you the best quality photos. So I think it's the one you should use. And well, if you don't plan on editing your photos after you've taken them, I suggest you turn on Scene Detection, which is automatically going to adjust the color and contrast of your photos to match the scene. So they are going to look more professional, more intentional, better said, even if you don't know how to edit those photos. Now moving on, let's tap right here on photo format. In this case, ideally you want to disable high efficiency pictures, which of course are going to take a little bit less space. They are more efficient, like the name suggests, but they are also a little bit less quality. And since we're aiming for the best quality photos possible, I think you should turn it off. And then for Pro Mode picture format, I suggest you tap on JPEG, unless you plan on editing your photos, which of course in that case you want to tap on RAW. Now that being said, let's swipe down to the video segment and tap on video format. As you can see, much like with photos, we get the option for high efficiency and the normal H.264, which is the one that I recommend because once again, it is going to take up a little bit more space, but it is also better for editing. It is also higher quality. Although everything said, if you want to shoot on log format, you have to enable high efficiency. As you can see, it only works with high efficiency video, and same for HDR, although I don't recommend you turn on HDR because it's going to make your videos look fake. Now a little bit below, we have the option for auto FPS, which I always recommend you turn off. It is going to make your videos look crappy and unprofessional. And once again, since we are aiming for the best quality possible, I recommend you always turn this option off. Now that being said, I do recommend you enable video stabilization. It is very good. It is going to make it feel like the phone's on a gimbal and you're not really losing any video quality, so it's a great option to have. Then right here on audio recordings, I always recommend you turn off 360 audio recording. It is going to make the audio on the video very hard to edit, and it is also not the most professional, but I do recommend you turn on zoom in mic. This is really cool. So when you're recording a video and you zoom in on something, the phone is intelligently going to pick up the audio from the area you're recording and leave everything else out. And well, of course, I also recommend you turn on save to external storage, which is, don't worry, not going to automatically save all your videos to an external storage. It is just going to allow you to do that if you want. Now, that being said, a quick mention back here on video formats to the log mode. I'm pretty sure most of you don't really know what this is, and I feel like you should probably know before you turn it on. This is essentially going to capture a very flat video that has a very high dynamic range, so you can then edit that video in post-production and give it your own taste and style. So if you try to do something artistic, like making your video look warmer or colder or darker, you can always do that with logarithmic mode. But if you try to change a video that's already been processed, you're going to lose a lot of quality in the process. So logarithmic is great if you plan on color grading your videos. Now that being said, a little bit below on the General tab, I suggest you turn on Tracking Autofocus, which is going to improve the autofocus so you can track subjects even if they move. Then you have the Composition Guide, which I recommend you turn on both for the grid lines and the level. The grid lines are essentially going to separate the frame in 9 different squares to help you better frame and compose the shot. So once again, you can get a more professional result. And well, the level is, like the name suggests, going to help you stabilize the shot so it's perfectly horizontal and it doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like the phone is tilted. Now, a little bit below, also here on the General tab, we have the option to swipe down on the phone to either change the cameras or open the quick controls. So in this case, as you can see, I have it set to switch cameras. So if I swipe down, I will automatically swipe between the front camera and the selfie camera on the phone, like that. Then also here on the General tab, if we tap on Shooting Methods and then tap on Press Volume Buttons too, we have the option to use the volume buttons to take pictures or record videos. As you can see, we have the option to zoom in or out, which is great if you're recording a video. And of course, we also have the option to control the sound and volume on the phone. And then we have a really cool option right here called Show Palm, which, like the name suggests, is going to let you take pictures or videos by showing your palm in front of the camera. And it works really, really well. Every time that I've used it, it has recognized my hand really fast. And I guess it is a great option if your phone is far away, you can't really reach it with your hands. So you can always show your hand and the phone is automatically going to give you a countdown and take the picture. Now below is one of the most demanded segments on the camera settings, which are the settings to keep. Essentially, these are all the settings that the phone is going to keep the way you set them up instead of rearranging them back to the default settings. So if you disable all of these options, even if you select video and the resolution and whatever, when you close the camera app and you come back in, everything else is going to be set back to the default settings. So in this case, you can turn on the camera mode, selfie angle, the filters, the steady mode, whatever you want, the exposure even, so you don't lose those changes even if you close the camera app. And well, last but not least, right here on Camera Assist, which I know some phones have it, some phones don't have it. If your phone doesn't have the Camera Assist option, go look it up on Google or on YouTube. There's probably a bunch of tutorials on how to enable the Camera Assistant. But if you have it, let's tap right here and make some changes to improve your photos and videos. First of all, I would like you to disable Auto HDR. HDR is always bad. It is going to give you more dynamic range, but it is a fake dynamic range that looks fake. And it's going to make your photos and videos look phone-made instead of more professional. Then I also suggest you turn off auto lens switching because it is automatically going to choose which camera and which zoom is better for you, which I don't think is a good idea. You always want to manually select the camera you're using and the zoom you want, so your results are intentional. And then down here on advanced resolution options, I recommend you turn on upscale digital zoom, which is going to use AI to upscale images you've taken with a lot of zoom. And I have to say, this is controversial. Some people think it's going to look fake or weird, but I've tried it with the option turned on and the option turned off, and it does seem to make a moderate but high quality improvement to your images. So I do recommend you turn on upscale digital zoom. Now also here on the Camera Assistant, you want to make sure that prioritize focus over speed is turned on. So you always get a focused, high quality, sharp image, even if you take a little bit more time to take the photo. Once again, we are trying to get the best photos and videos possible, so I think it's fine to sacrifice 0.1 seconds of speed if that means the photo is now properly focused and sharp, and therefore much better quality. And well, of course, more in that vein, you also want to turn off quick tap shutter, because this is going to let you take very fast pictures. As soon as you tap the shutter, it is going to take a picture. But of course, this is going to give the phone very little time to set focus and process the image, so the quality of those photos is going to be very bad. And well, also here on Camera Assistant, all the way at the bottom, I suggest you tap on Camera Timeout right here and set it to 10 minutes. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot, if you are going to use a display to view or preview what you're recording with your phone, you can always turn on Clean Preview on HDMI displays, so you can get a clean output of what your phone is recording. I'm pretty sure most of you are not going to need this option, but for those who do, this is always great to have. But anyways, that being said, those are all the settings you need to know to take the best photos and videos with your S26 Ultra or your S26. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, if you have any questions regarding anything that I said, you can tell me down below. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again very soon. Peace.